Hello. Oh, thanks for the share. All right. Got lots to do today. What's going on, everybody, on TikTok? TikToky. See how this today goes with TikTok and YouTube. The streams have been really not great the last week or two. It's just really not pushing my stuff out, so we'll see how it goes today. We'll see. All right. So I'm just going to be putting in some armature pieces to begin with today. So this will be my shiranui from Okami. So I baked it over during the week. How much for one really just depends on what you're after, but they can range anywhere from $480 to $680 US, that is. So what are those white joints called? It's ball and socket armature. So it's a plastic ball and socket armature. So you can get obviously the straight run, and then this is a plus joint. You can also get Y joints as well. So they come in different sizes. So I've got three of the main sizes that I use, but I mainly try and use this small one. Hell no. Get out of here then, Rami. I'd like to see you make one better. There's always someone, isn't there, with just, I guess, lack of knowledge on how much it costs to make one and how much time it's spent. So they take, 20 to 30 hours to make, and I ain't doing that for free. Probably, yeah. I mean, they're generally kids that don't understand, but, I'm used to it. Thanks for the likes, though. They changed the likes. The little like icons. That's cool. All right, so this one's going to be the medieval cat. I'm going to get rid of this paint that I dropped on there because it's annoying. So I still got a bit of sculpting to do. Might have to redact one of my dolls from my next set. Is this my... I wish it was, but no, unfortunately. I can't make a proper living off it, so I got a job 3 days a week, and I've got a 2-year-old as well, almost 3, so I don't actually get all that much time to spend on this. I'd love to quit my job and just do this, so... But maybe one day. Maybe one day. I wish. And I think since COVID, like, sales have been pretty short since COVID. Like, everyone just ran out of money, obviously. All right. So I just need to get some more little ball and sockets. So this one's going to be for the flying fox. So that needs to go. I need to do wings for that one. And yeah, okay. You just learned about bulk sales. I only make one. I only make one of everything these days. So I used to do more, but yeah, I only make one of everything these days. it's just social media is really awful and doesn't push your posts out. So it's really frustrating that, nobody sees things. The pre-order thing's a bit hard because I generally only make one of everything. But I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I want to start making like smaller insects. So I'm thinking I want to do like a little test for making moths. So I was going to make like little, maybe like 5 each of little moths and just see how they go. Again, it all depends if social media is going to push it out. So it's always a thing, social media. It's terrible. It's like, it's so dependent on people that interact with your posts and lives and stuff as well. So it's like, if people don't interact with it, it doesn't get pushed out. It's so frustrating. But yes, I've got a commission. So at the end of this live, I'm going to do a little more work on this one. I don't know if you can tell what it is yet. Obviously it doesn't have the front part yet, but I did a little bit of work on that yesterday. I still got a ways to go on it. But yeah, that's a commission for someone. So that's nice. I generally don't advertise for commissions anymore. I used to, but yeah, not so much anymore. I'm just enjoying making my own things, I guess. So yeah, I've got to attach all of the armature pieces to these. And so they have 24 hours to dry. And then I can start like constructing some dolls. So I've got a couple of pieces on the go at the moment. Yeah, no, if I put the music on, because I've got YouTube as well, they obviously, you can't monetize it. So I've just got it quietly. I don't know if anyone can hear it, but yeah, I've just got a little bit quietly. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, it's a bit tricky with that one. But I don't make that much on YouTube anyway, so maybe I'll just crank the music, crank it out. And I don't know if like TikTok sort of penalizes that as well for having, music that's copyrighted as well. I don't know, for lives. So I keep getting slapped with a brand advertising restriction. Like almost every live I get one. So it's kind of frustrating. All right, so these are going to be, this one's going to be for the medieval cat. Just doing one this time, but they're going to be, if you're new here, I do a whole story with the medieval cat. So this is the 4th one. I made 3 of them before, and this is like a little offshoot of 3. So it's going to be, it's the child of 2 of them, basically. I've got a good name for her as well. So that's one medieval cat. It's going to have sticky uppy hands, so sort of like that. And then it's going to be standing. So yeah, and we're going for a blue color. And that one goes there. We've got this one that we need to do. I need to put this back on because it made a boo-boo with this one. So I need to reattach this one, which is fine. That should be good. So that's that. What else do we need? Bigger ones. That one. So these coils come in a roll, and this is the biggest roll for this size. They changed the structure of it recently, so I don't know if I like the structure of that one. But anyway, all right. So go. Oh, I don't know where that went. I'm gonna have to find that. That one flew off too. So I'm just popping off the sockets of these. I have to go find those. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so we've got some armage pieces, and they're going to go on the paws. So these are some paws that I sculpted for my Shiranui art doll. So this one's just going to be like part of a personal sort of project. This one, I've always wanted to make it, so we're doing it. So these are the paws for it. And I'm just going to sort of attach them, and I'm going to be using some epoxy sculpt with this. And that needs 24 hours to cure properly, but I just want to carve it out. I just want to get this out of the way first so I can move on to what else are we going to do? Sculpting this one. So I've done sort of some of it. I've still got a ways to go on it, but yeah. It's a bit weird looking thing at the moment, but it's going to be a baby elephant. An Asian elephant, that is. So that's the commission. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure when I bake the polymer clay, it like shrinks just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to make sure everything fits in place before I go and attach and mix up the epoxy sculpt. So I just want to make sure got room. Okay, that. What's next? This one. So this one's going to be for my flying fox wings. Now this one I have a pattern for. This one. So what I need to do is sort of measure out the wings. So we're going to be using, so for the wings I use, you don't know if you were expecting bones? What do you mean? Bones. All right. So for the wings I use wire because the ball and socket arm is just too thick to get in between the bone structure. So, you know, we need to make them. So basically what I do is, this is a 3mm thickness galvanized aluminium wire, and I don't have much of this left actually. So I've got a pattern out of wings that I've made, and then I basically need to measure out the wing pattern on this. This is how I make wings. I've got a whole wing tutorial how I make these wings, but yeah, I have a pattern that I follow. This way. So they're quite big, but take a bit of, and then we want to just sort of measure out there. So that's going to be the middle. So that's sort of one wing shape, and then I fold it and sort of just follow again. So it's the same length. So I used to use wire for the whole armature, but I don't anymore. I just use the ball and socket armature more. It's more stable. Are you from Australia? I get it. These are from Riot, which I actually don't know if they sell it anymore, but it is really hard to find. I reckon this is all I've got. I don't know, actually. I don't know if that's all I've got left of this one. But yeah, if you're from Australia, you know the Riot Art and Craft that used to be a shop. I got it from there. So but you can get like, it's not as good, but you can get like kind of copper. I don't know what this is. I think it's a mix of stuff. So you can get this as well in, you know, coils and stuff, but this one's really bendable. So I don't really like really bendable wires because they tend to snap a bit easier. So if you can get like galvanized steel, that would be better. All right, so basically that's the wing span. So it's quite a big wing span. That's the Flying Fox for it's going to be. Riot requires things in the US. I don't know what it means. I think I know what it means, but all right. So this is my ball and socket armature. That's going to be the main part of the body. Thanks for the follow. You'll look into it more. Yeah, it's called galvanized aluminium, I think. I can't find the packet, but it comes in different sizes. I can't find a packet. I don't know. But you can just use like galvanized steel. That'll be fine too. And you can just find aluminium. Oh, really? Looks interesting. Really? That is so weird. So this is the smallest armature. I did have to drill a little bit more of a bigger hole in there so I can feed the wire through. So what I basically do is feed it through and try not to stab yourself at the end. Yeah, that's so weird. I've never heard of that. You don't have like a what's the hardware store there? I forgot the hardware store, what the name of it is. I can't remember. They should have something, surely. All right, so that's sort of starting to see Harbor Freight. Ace. Is it Ace Hardware? Okay, so you can sort of start to see the body of the Flying Fox coming to life, you know. So I just want to make sure that is okay. And then what I like to do with a permanent marker, just in case this moves around a bit, I'm just going to mark out where I want this to sit. Make sure it's just sits in between those lines. Yeah, surely a hardware store would have something. All right, so let's check that I'm happy. You can always trim this as well. I think that looks good. Now I might have to use this one. I don't know if I've got. See if I can find a packet. I've got the thicker one. The areas mainly supply big 12-foot skeletons for Halloween. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we don't have those Halloween shops. So this is a bigger one. No, that's not the bigger one. That's what it looks like. Armature. It's just like a clay armature wire, if that helps you find it. I mean, it doesn't. It just says non-staining, non-corrosive aluminium modeling wire. You could try like a artist thing, maybe. The company's here, Clay Studio. Maybe if you googled Clay Studio, you could find something. I think I bought out the shop. I have so many packets. Okay. Screenshot. screenshot again. No problem. So yeah, I've tried Googling the clay studio before, but I don't know where they get it from. I've just got this size left. I usually use a smaller size, but I have to use this wire here. So I don't know where my, oh my god. Yeah, now I got a restriction. Oops. I don't know why, see? Without fail, restriction. Anyway. So let's do a bed. Okay, so this is going to be for like the little wings. You're a welder and you always want something for a base. Yeah, okay. Well, try that. Okay, so for the little bone structures inside the wing, what I like to do is, I can always trim it when I do the rest, but I just like to measure. There. Now, that's 1, and then 2, 3. So I'll have 2 there, and again I'm going to mark. Oh, really? I'm making this one for a Flying Fox Rescue. So they do like educational programs. And yeah, they wanted to have like a fake bat. Obviously, you can't let people handle real bats, obviously. But yeah. So just going to curl it around and get my, I don't know where my needle nose pliers are going. It's really annoying. Anyway. You would love to make one. Just give it a crack. Alright. So I don't normally do armature bits like this anymore. It's just for wings. So anyhow, that's like that. We can worry about the way they are set up later. Just want them to be in a basic shape, and then so that's sort of a bat wing there. So the same on the other side. So I'm going to add, once I put these on, I'm going to add the epoxy sculpt to set it in place. There, like that. And yeah, I'll give them a trim once I've made everything. But again, I'm going to flip that over. I would be making one soldering. I mean, I don't really do soldering. but it's not hard. I've done a little bit. Just need a soldering iron and that's it, really. It starts getting awkward. It's such like a big thing with pokey wires everywhere. About right. Sitting okay? Sure. All right. No, I just use epoxy sculpt is all to attach all this. So it's just a 2-part epoxy. So I don't actually like fabricate anything. That makes sense. But yeah, so we're just doing a basic flying fox body that I need to attach with epoxy salt. What's my YouTube? So I'm just going to put this over here. So. Just going to bend that so it's. All right. Epoxy sculpt. So try and get as much of this done. Yeah, it's going to be a grey-headed flying fox, so they've got like a rust-coloured neck, and black wings. But I hate when you put 2 fingers in one finger. Oh my god, it's on the wrong way. All right. So that's the epoxy sculpt. It's a 2-part, 50-50. Got to mix it. This part's always hard to get out. I'm gonna have to mix quite a bit for this one, and you can smooth it out with water. Get this hemoglobin. It's always hard to get this out. It starts to sort of get a bit harder to get this part out when you've had it open for a while. So it's like I wouldn't call it a paste, but like a modeling medium, I guess. Yeah, sure. No problem. Just shoot me an email, probably on my website. That's where I get the best notifications. Sometimes stuff goes to like spam inboxes, but yeah. All right, so I'm going to start with probably this much. See how that goes. Maybe a tad more. Thank you for the follow. Hair in my mouth. Yuck. All right, so I'm going to start with this much. So I need an equal part of this side now, which side's a bit softer. A bit easy to get out. How we go in there? Yeah, okay. No problem. I like to sort of flatten it out to make sure I've got equal amounts. I can need a little bit more. This one. All right, so that's sort of equal parts. I'm mixing up quite a bit from this one just because I've got a lot of parts to attach. I'm going to start off with the armature for the flying fox though, because it's like taking up too much space. Get out of here. All right, so I like to just add a bit of water. That sort of softens it up a little bit. Message anyone about dates and postal. So it comes with tracking, if that's what you're asking. All right, so you basically got to mix this. It's a little hard until the marbling goes away. That's how you know it's sort of mixed in properly. But mixing up like a large batch like this is a bit heavy on the hands, I have to say. You can sort of, it's hard to tell because they're both grey. I like to use the white, but they didn't have the white in stock, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, basically just put your back into it. And adding a bit of water makes it, sort of softens it a little bit. So you can smooth it out with water. And yeah, it works a bit better. Stops it sticking to everything. So yeah, I might have to bump one of my dolls from this batch that I'm doing. I'm not sure which one to bump. The only ones that I haven't started is a golden tiger. I do want to do the leopard gecko. I think I might bump a kiwi. I was going to do a kiwi. Yeah, we don't really have FedEx and UPS here. And if we do, we don't really have FedEx here, or we don't have FedEx here. We've got UPS, but they're like, nobody really uses them, and they're like super expensive. Obviously, we've got our own postal service. So we just use Australia Post. And if they courier, it's usually EMS, because we're, Asia Pacific. So they usually go through EMS, or that's if it's going international. If it's going in the country, it's usually like couriers, please, just like a courier company. Courier. But yeah, we don't really have FedEx here. UPS, but nobody uses them. They're not very popular here and too expensive. But yeah, our one tends to go for, what do you call it? EMS, Asia Pacific. All right, so let's start doing this. I might do this first. I should put in, actually. I'm just going to peel this off for a second. Should do this. I don't know if this restriction is ruining my life or not. I'm going to put this on here first. That's going to be for the toe. Let's do that again. I might, I don't know if I might restart this live or not. The TikTok live, that is. Every time. Yeah, no problem. I mean, my customers pay the postage. I don't pay it. But I don't want to offer postage that's through the roof either. All right, so I'm just using a bit of water just to smooth this out. We want it nice and smooth. Yeah, possibly. Who knows? Okay, one side. So bend that. Okay, bit of water to smooth it. So these ones are the most tricky ones. Got to sort of sculpt it in a way that it stays true to the structure of the body. Where were you? I've always been in Australia. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. Always been here. But most of my customers are from the States, funnily enough. Okay. And last bit will be these two sides here. Smooth it out. Make sure it's nice and connected. Don't want any breakage. And I'm going to put a little bit on either side as well, just to join, just to connect these pieces. I've got a UK accent. I mean, we sound so a well-spoken Australian sounds a little bit like a Pommy. Like, not too, I think I'm more of the well-spoken Australian. I'm not really bogan sounding, but there's very bogan sounding Australians, but yeah, I think I'm more of a, we used to watch a lot of British TV growing up as a kid. We used to have a lot of British TV on, the kids channel. But yeah, sometimes some British accents are really hard to distinguish from Australian. You're from Middle America. All right, that is. I mean, I can sound more Australian if you like. That's how we sound. Like Kath and Kim, you going, mate? Chuck a snag on a barbie, mate. All right. So that is the bat structure. So they're going to leave that to dry overnight. Which I'll leave it. I'll leave it there. All right. So that'll dry overnight, and then I can sort of start working on a bit more things. All right. So I'm going to start attaching all of these other armatures together. Sorry. We've got the medieval cat. Just going to grab a clump. And stick it in. So I'll try and do these ones a bit quicker so I can do a little bit of sculpting on the elephant. So this elephant is the customer wanted. Apparently there was a new baby Asian elephant that was born at the Columbus Zoo. So they're wanting a little art doll of that one. And then they want the family, like the elephant family's names on. I'm going to put them on the feet. You can do a lower French accent or Quebec without speaking. Yeah. See, I'm not too familiar with French accents. Like, obviously, I know what it sounds like, but we don't have much in terms of French here. All right. Can do a New Zealand accent, but we just make fun of New Zealanders. Sorry. Fosh and chops. That's what we say. That's our poking fun at New Zealanders. Fosh and chops. All right. So we've got one armature. I'm going to sort of angle it a little bit. Okay, we've got one armature for the medieval cat. A lot of questions I hear about African languages, but the history of Australia, New Zealand accent. You mean the Maori? The Maori ones? The Maori accents? I've never been to New Zealand. I'd like to go eventually, one day. One day I'll get there. Okay. Do one for the flying fox. Make sure it's nice and in there. Yeah, okay. I don't know all that much about America. Like, obviously I know some things, but there's so many different like accents in America as well. Whereas in like Australia, like there's different accents in different capital cities, but they're kind of hard to tell. You can kind of tell slightly, but they're not as heavy of a change as some American accents. All right, that's the flying fox. And let's do this one here. I'm wondering if I should restart the live because I reckon that restriction is giving me grief with the people coming in here. Not a lot going on. All right, so this one's going to be for Shiranui. So I get a bit of water to blend it in a little bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it changes so quickly, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think our accents come from a British accent. Like, it's a lazy British accent. A lazy British accent. All right, so this is going to be Shiranui. Just angle it down a little bit. Okay, nice and smooth. All right, I'm going to restart the live because there's I think that restriction's given me a bit of problems. So yeah, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to restart the live. Okay. Angle that up a little bit for you guys. Okay. So this is going to be the larger one. Large stag. You made it. Let's see how this one goes. All right, so just get the larger armature up. And I'm just going to angle it down as well. So this is the largest armature that I've got. Because it's a pretty hefty doll, this stag. I don't normally do resin dolls much anymore. But I thought, why not? TikTok, are you going to push my live out or not? All right. Okay, that's the stag. Straighten that up. It's better. All right, so I got the head there. All right, it's that one. Done that one. Let's do some feet. So these feet got, I should get one of my dolls, shouldn't I? There's some show and tells. Okay. So just doing a little bit of a epoxy sculpt on here to attach the armature. Welcome, guys. All right. Should I get one of my dolls for display purposes? Get on there. All right. One. Right, maybe I'll get my poopy cat, put it on there. I haven't got that one out for a while. Oh, maybe I should do my lions. I don't know. Thank you for the share. Should I bring my lion out? Maybe the spicy female one. Let's put these over here to dry. I'll get my lady lion. Okay, just for... Oh, thank you for the roses. Might move this out of the way. Fantastic work. Thank you. That dry over there. My lady lion. So these lions just went up today in my shop. Your American pennies are worth more than my Australian pennies. Well, technicalities. The exchange rates tells me otherwise. Thanks, freaks and figures. Okay. I have to just do a little bit of this one. Sorry. These armatures have changed it, and I don't like them. They'll last 10 seconds. As the exchange rates changed. Because it was almost double our currency, our dollar. It's like 70 cents or something. I think there was like once when that whole GFC happened that the Australian dollar was stronger than the US dollar. That was weird. It wouldn't even let me when you... Oh, really? Okay. Smooth it out onto the rest of the hand. I'm going to add the claws separately. I don't know if I haven't decided yet. All right. One hand. I'm going to set these up nicely. Oh, thank you for the hand heart. Hashtag FYP. Came up on your FYP? Wow. That's a change. You don't have that gift anywhere else. Maybe it's an Australian gift. I don't know. I know there's like kangaroos and koalas and stuff. Maybe it's like an Australian thing. Ah. I know. Some days TikTok's quite good at feeding my stuff out, and then some days it's just they started this new like campaign thing, and it's all about quality of your life. So obviously I just want people to scream at other people. Scream and beg. We're just making stuff here. Okay. All right. One. Let me check what's going on outside because it's like some kind of banging outside. Oh, thank you for the rose. No idea. No idea. Hi. How are you? Not my welding stuff, sadly. I don't know what that was. You're good. That's good. What was the most challenging art doll? Let me see. I'm trying to think. I think anything rodent. I always find rodents actually quite hard to sculpt. So like people's pet rats, because like one, it's a rodent. For some reason, I just find them really hard to sculpt. It's staring at me. It's judging you. Yeah, for some reason, I find them really hard to sculpt. They have like a particular angle on their snout that if you don't get right, it just looks like something else. And obviously, they're pet rats, so I can only go by like crappy photos that they send me. So, and they obviously expect an exact replica, so it's always challenging to get that right. But I always make sure they're happy with it before I send it off. Yeah, probably rodents, because I just, for some reason, find them so hard to sculpt. I've done quite a lot of rats before. It's saying ew. Thank you. It's actually Puma, which I'm an Adidas person. So I mostly just wear Adidas. So it's a bit out there, out of the ordinary. Have I attempted yeah, I've done heaps of dragons before. I made a really big cat. It's a lioness, so you can sort of see better. But I do plan on making a bobcat soon. what was I saying? Yeah, I made a really big Drogon a number of years ago, and I want to revisit that because I'm not happy. Now that I look at it, it's part of my personal collection. It's cute. Oh, thanks. I want to revisit the body for that one. So that was also quite challenging because it was like a really big doll that I hadn't done before, and it was very complex because I molded everything in silicone and then cast it in resin. So it was a very complex doll to make. I did it, and now I want to do it again. Sorry, how long does it normally take to make? So anywhere between 20 and 30 hours. Why have I bought so many great Euro Aussie brands not recognized? I don't know. I just wear Adidas a lot. I don't post a lot of myself on here, but yeah, I like patterns. So that's what I go for, patterns and color. But yeah, when I first started, I made a lot of fantasy things. So I've done heaps of fantasy animals. It's primarily all I made when I first started, but then I started doing these fake taxidermy pieces, and yeah, I'm kind of much happier doing real animals. I mean, I wish Adidas would send me stuff. I'd totally wear it. But yeah, I have a pretty extensive Adidas collection, I must say. All right. Mostly patterns. There's a particular collaboration that they do with another clothing brand called Farm Rio, and I've got like a lot of their stuff on there that they've done, collabs with them. So hopefully I have enough. I should have enough. A little bit forward, that one. All right, I should have enough. I always do that later. Yeah. How many other things have you collabed with? I've done a couple of dolls. Is that what the question was? Collabed with? I wish I collabed with Adidas, but I did a couple of dolls for the Calgary Zoo. What am I sculpting? These are top brand. Yeah, I know. I don't normally do things like that. I hate posting myself. Yeah, sorry. I did a few dolls for the Calgary Zoo for their educational programs, and I think not last year, the year before. Last year? Could have been the start of last year. I did one for the Vancouver Aquarium, so they use them for their educational programs. But yeah, I've made heaps of dolls for the Calgary Zoo. Haven't heard from them in a while, so I don't know if they've changed hands. But yeah, they were using them for like their educational things, so people can, hold a smaller replica of an animal. So what am I doing? I am just attaching all these armature pieces to like parts of my dolls. So I'm trying to get them done before I move on to anything else, so I can sort of put them all together. So I've got, a flying fox. I've got the armature for the medieval cat. I've got Shiranui from Okami. I've got the stag. And once I finish doing all these pieces, I've got a commission for an Asian elephant that somebody, apparently there was one born at Columbus Zoo. So I'm in the middle of sculpting the Asian elephant, and obviously the trunk's going to be posable, so I'm not sculpting the trunk on there. So I haven't actually done an elephant before, so that's going to be fun, trying to navigate that. All a learning curve. I wish I was the top one. You want an animal head so bad. I did a lot of I haven't done it for a while, but I'm thinking of doing it again. Thanks for the follow. I used to do like plaques and just the head. So obviously like miniature, it'll just be like the head. But I used to do like wooden plaques so you can hang on the wall. I did them a few years ago now. They're all sold out. But yeah, I was thinking of doing that again. I don't know if people would be into it. And I wanted to do some like replica skull sculpts. I sculpted one skull and now I like it, sculpting them. So yeah, I think I was going to start with maybe like a cat or a wolf or a fox, something like that. Well, I did a deer skull before, and I'm going to put them in a glass dome. But I haven't found a glass dome that's big enough for like to fit the antlers. Oh, nice. Yeah, just these ones are resin. That I did sculpt them out of monster clay, and then obviously molded them in silicone and cast them in resin. So these are resin. I've painted them. But yeah, I don't normally work with resin all that much anymore. It's too messy and expensive. All right. That's that. Do I sell any of my pieces? Yes, they're all for sale. creaturesofnat.com. So you can check me out there if you want a piece. I do offer payment plans too. I've just had both lions go up today in my shop, the male and the female. So this is the lady. Yeah, what paints do I prefer? I like, there's a brand called Jacquard, and they make really nice paints. So I tend to use them. They make really nice metallic paints. They're probably one of the best that I've used before. And I use chrome acryl as well. I just like the consistency of chrome acryl. It's not too thick, not too thin. Has nice coverage. All that stuff. Yeah. But I got a number of dolls looking for homes at the moment. There's a Gila monster. There's a veiled chameleon. Couple of cats. Couple of cats in there. Thanks for the likes. A couple of big cats in there. You name it. A bear, so made a spirit bear. African hunting dog. A couple of dragons. So yeah, a heap of things. Looking for homes in there. Oops. Accidentally tore that off. All right, so just blending it in. This is the last pour, and then I've got one more thing to attach, and then I'll do some more work on the elephant. Oh, I mean that's the beauty of having your own shop. You can put anything in there, right? Okay. One more. It's starting to go. It's starting to set. So lucky this is the last piece. I'll put too much water on that. All right, last piece. And then we will move on to our elephant. I went to my craft store this morning and I found some fabric that's perfect for an elephant. Hopefully it works out. Hey, how you going? Yvetta, how are you? So yeah, hopefully this fabric turns out. I also found some fabric for my Sphinx cat art doll that I'm thinking of doing for Christmas with ugly Christmas sweater. So that's all coming together. Got to think about the Christmas dolls this year. Made a Krampus last year. Just trying to get this in properly because it's not getting in there properly. Don't want any air bubbles in there. Right. Hopefully I can actually paint on these fabrics. I'm not 100% that I can. Hopefully I can. All right, that's the other bag. That's the last one. They need to dry overnight now. Okay, damn gloves off. So what I have to sculpt next, obviously I have to put the elephant sort of first. So finish the elephant, and what I have to sculpt next is a leopard gecko, maybe golden tiger. Get off my hand. I'm trying to like get it off the right way, not inside out. Okay, free. All right. Now, got our elephant. Now, so what I'm doing with this elephant, so I'm going to have a posable trunk. Wherever that's gone. I'm going to have a posable trunk, so it's going to, be able to move up and down. And I'm also wanting to do posable ears, so I'm not going to sculpt the ears on, but what I'll do is I'll probably put some little holes without the ears to go, and do like a fabric ear so I can move them back and forth. But yeah, that's going to be basically what the trunk's going to look like, and obviously you can bend it so that goes like that. But yeah, I'm probably going to paint this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover it or paint it in the fabric, so I need it to be neat. So what I'm going to do is do the other eye with my polymer clay. So I'm just starting to do the wrinkling and construction of it. And I wanted, like, with the baby elephants, because this is a baby one, their lips are sort of always down like that. So I wanted to be able to sort of lift the trunk up and down. So I have to paint all this bit in there. But I've done one eye. I'm not going to do like a final. I'll have to do the eyes once I finish the actual sculpt. But yeah, I've done one kind of. So for the wrinkling, basically, what I'm going to do is roll out some clay. Just got to condition it a little bit because it's been sitting overnight. And this one's going to have a bigger armature in it too, so kind of like that. All right. Yeah. Just going to roll this out. So for the wrinkling, what I like to do, there's no right or wrong way to do wrinkling, but I like to roll it out. And sort of going to start following this around here. Really nice work. Oh, thanks. So I want to sort of follow just around the eye. And then I'm going to get my silicone tool. It kind of, yeah, it's Fakodermy. Fakodermy. Animal-free taxidermy. Fakodermy. At least that's what I've been calling it. So yeah, basically making tabletop-sized replicas. So this one's a lioness. And I just put her in my shop this morning, along with the male. Yeah. Oh, thanks. So I'm doing a Asian elephant for someone as a commission piece. So this one's going to have a posable trunk. Obviously, I'm not going to sculpt the trunk in, so it's going to have a posable trunk, and I'm going to have posable ears too. So a little bit of posability. I haven't made an elephant before, so I'm going all out. Going all out on the elephant. All right, so basically we want to sort of start integrating these little wrinkle areas. So integrate that. And we want this to be kind of smoothed. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so I've been doing this for about 13 years now, coming up to 14, I reckon. So I've made a whole lot of things in my time. Never an elephant, would you believe? Absurd. So baby elephant's eyes are really weird. I've discovered they're creepy. They're so creepy, and they're like, So, yeah, I have a play around. I'm going to add fake eyelashes to it, I think, because they got, you know, their eyelashes are on point, right? Okay, so these are going to be like the main wrinkle bits, and then I'll go over and sort of add some more skin texture. Okay. And do one. So it's always difficult to match it up to, I mean, both sides aren't the same, right? So, and then I'm going to do a bigger, flatter piece. How do I add the fluffy stuff on them? So basically, this is a medieval cat that I'm in the process of making. So I've just attached the armature too. So this is going to cure overnight. So basically construct the armature like a skeleton, basically. I then add polyfill, so I needle felt a body to make basically a form. It's the same as what taxidermists do, except they buy a form, like a foam form, but I make it. So it is nice and soft. So it's nice and soft. So I basically just add, you know, the form, the muscle tone and everything, and then I'll sew this faux fur over the top. So this originally started off as white. I sewed in a little bit of detailing here just to have like a more of a seasoned lady. And then I attached the fur to the head and added, you know, all the detailing to that. I added the color with an airbrush too. So that is basically how it sums up. So I'm in the process of making Shiranui from, don't know if you know the name, Okami. So same process. This is going to be a bigger doll. This one's just like part of a personal collection. So I just finished and sculpting this one, and I baked it yesterday. So it's gone nice and hard. But yeah, this one's going to be, it's a little bit more refined, a little bit different than the rest of my dolls. But yeah, that is one of them. But yeah, it's just a lot of back and forth sculpting. to get these right. Don't spend too much time doing details on the actual head. Oh my god, again, another restriction. Every day there are 2 restrictions today. It's so annoying. Ugh. Turn it on. Turn it on. So annoying. Anyway, what am I making? So I'm sculpting an Artdoll. So this one is an Asian elephant for a customer. So just in the process of sculpting the head. It's going to have a posable trunk and posable ears. So a little bit more posability with this one. You thought it was real? That's it. That's what we want. All right. Now, so these a basic sort of structure for wrinkling, like a heavy wrinkle. And I will just blend it in a little bit. And then I'm going to go over with some plastic to add in some of the skin details. Thanks for the follow, guys. So I want this to sort of go under this piece here. So I'm just using this little paddle tool to sort of push it underneath. And I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Thanks. So let's blend that out a little bit. And this is going to be kind of like a skin fold. Like so. So that's sort of a base for some wrinkles. And then I'm going to get a piece of plastic. And I'm going to get my needle tool and just sort of go over it. And this, instead of scoring the fabric, the clay, it sort of just dints it. So this is a really good way of making wrinkles on sculptures. So, I want some pretty hefty wrinkling. So yeah, you go back and forth to scour it basically. And then I want to scour it one way. And then scour it another way. So this is a good way to make wrinkling on like an elephant. Okay. All right. What am I making? I am sculpting an Asian elephant head. So for a customer, for an Artdoll. So let's it's not your conventional looking head because I'm going to be adding opposable parts to it. So I'm really just sort of making a form. It's going to have a movable trunk and movable ears. So I'm not adding in the ears just yet, but basically put a little bit of a dent here. So I need to do the head needs to be a little bit neater than what I normally do. I'm just going to do a little bit of a indentation here. So it's going to look really funny. I think this doll's just going to look weird from the get-go. And I'm just going to have to refine this piece here because I have like a little lip that comes down there. So I'm going to, don't know if that's enough. I might just do the whole thing. So both sides. I've got 2 bits of clay. I'm sort of going to squish it down and so I want it about there. And okay. I'll blend that in. Take that up here. So I'm just going to slowly add a little bit of detail here and bring this up, make that a bit thicker. So I sort of want this little lip thing here. I am going to attach fabric to that. So but we want to make this neat. So if I get a scrap piece of fabric, let's just use this for now. So the trunk's sort of going to sit here, I reckon. So that's sort of a vision of the trunk, basically. Visionary over here. So the trunk's got to sort of be like that. Okay, that looks good. We'll work it out. All right, so blend that in. I'm going to add a bit more wrinkling, I think, to this as well. I think I'm going to have to paint this head. I don't know. Okay. So smooth it out. Same for the other side. Right, so the hardest part is getting it symmetrical. Okay. All right. Made these little bits down here so the trunk can, yeah. Now, put a little bit of clay on either side. Oops. To All right. Okay, so I've got a bit of work done today. So I'm gonna probably jump off for today, but tomorrow I'll be back. These will all be dry, so I can start sort of constructing things tomorrow. So that's exciting. Yeah, we'll see how we go. But I'd like to try and finish this elephant sculpt tomorrow at least. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to leave it there for today. Here's what we got. YouTube. I'll be back on tomorrow about 12:30 again to finish this off. 12:30 till 2. And yeah, see how much we can get done on these art dolls. So YouTube, I'll catch you later.